September 29th, 2023, 2:59 p.m. Saturday. I haven't done a YouTube in a long time. I should have listened to the last one I uploaded. But I know it's been 2 years since I did a video, because I know I picked up my brother to work up here in Washington through temp service just to get him off the reservation, because I was tired of hearing people say this about my brother and about me. And the last time I went home was to take care of my cousin, to dress her as an undertaker. And it was so obvious who hangs out with who and who talks about who. They were all standing over there to my left in a circle. And then there's me, my mom, my cousin Rain, and the other undertaker Ida. Not Ida. Isabel. And Auntie Mona. So that is a very small handful of people that was lining up at the door, from the oldest to the youngest. Okay, we have a big family. We do. I remember back in the day when we have one person pass away, the whole longhouse would be full. But nowadays it's immediate family that shows up to funerals, and not everyone shows up because they're so into themselves, because they just want to drink or do their whatever drugs that they do. I don't do meth. I don't do cocaine. I don't do heroin. I don't drink. All I do is 420, okay? Dabs, mainly. Because I don't have to smoke weed all day. I can just take one hit, boom, I'm good. And just puff on it off and on throughout the day. It's not like I'm sitting there smoking 5 bowls or 3 joints or bong hits, just trying to get stoned from smoking weed. And I had a counselor tell me, when the last time I was an outpatient before getting into inpatient, because I was on probation and that's what my probation officer wanted me to do. I almost went to treatment in Idaho, because at the time I was married, but he ended up back in prison because of a probation violation, and I was staying with his mom. But his niece, that's who I can't remember how it goes, but I just know it was his niece. And I just posted a video on TikTok about children, how they mimic their parents or whoever is the guardian. It could be their grandma, whoever, their legal guardian, one that cooks for them, bathes them, houses them, shops for clothes for them, and everything a parent, mommy, dad, whatever, supposed to do. But she wasn't with her parents. She stayed with her grandma. I thought her grandma was cool because she was an elder. But that little girl came out, she was only 8 years old. And when I was 8, I didn't talk like this little girl did to me. And she would come in the living room while I was beadworking, just minding my own business, because that's where I slept. I didn't know what to. I should have just went home, but I couldn't because I was on probation in Idaho. And she says, "When you moving out? My grandma don't even like you." And then she skipped off into the hallway all happy, like like she's cute. I know I shouldn't be talking down on kids, but you better watch it, because there's parents out there that will get their kids to fight your kid if they're the same age. And if I had an 8-year-old that was right by me, I'd be like, "Go ahead, test her. I'll just sit here and watch." That's what I would have done. And I'd be like cheering on my niece if she was taking on that area right in front of her grandma. I'm waiting for Teresa to come pick me up because I was supposed to go pick up some money at Western Union. So I got my ID ready and I took a shower. I mean, I didn't know. I did not plan on going anywhere today. I just wanted to stay home. I pulled some reeds in the sweat lodge because I'm getting ready for me to put blankets on it so we can start sweating because the weather's getting colder. And I've been home since Saturday. So I've been home only 7 days because I went up to Seattle, Washington last month in August, in the middle of August, because it was a midweek powwow when that was going on, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I went to that powwow to dance because I haven't danced all summer due to the car accident I had on May 12th. One vehicle accident, nobody else involved, just me and my Chihuahua Weezer. And I was on my way to go help an elder. His name is Tanakin, his girlfriend Stacy, and his son Silas. They just came from Idaho burying Silas's girlfriend. And then they went to go teach 100 students how to make cedar bark baskets up there at some lodge. But they were camping at Denny Creek to gather cedar bark to teach those children to make cedar bark baskets. And I volunteered. I'll help because he originally asked Michael, but I don't know if he's working. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He couldn't make it. And that's when I still had my green Ford Explorer. And I was going through a lot at that time. I was posting a lot of TikToks. And I just got done posting a TikTok. I was all ready to go. I had all my stuff packed. My camping gear. And I had packed my powwow outfit because I was going to go dance because I didn't know what powwow was going to come up. I just knew that I was going to go up to Michael's to visit him over there in Seattle. And I didn't, because I don't have Facebook. So nobody posts powwow flyers on Instagram or TikTok that's local where I can go. So like here, even just here right in the Yakima Reservation, or just the local powwows I can go to, like Muckleshoot, or I don't know all the tribes around here up in Washington, or that's around me, but there's a lot of powwows that I missed this summer, and I would see them posted up on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and I would miss them because I didn't know what was going on. And I'd be in that area. I would be in that area, but I'm not really going to cry over it because I couldn't even hold my shawl. I couldn't hold my shawl like a fancy shawl dancer's supposed to hold their shawl up. And I'm still trying to get my full range of movement. I can't even. Okay, you know those windmills? Dude, I want to be able to do my windmills without moving my whole body. So this is how it would look if I was to try to do it. So, I'm probably like 175 pounds now. But I'm trying to do the windmill without moving my body, because if you can have full range of your movements in your arms, right here in your shoulder, because I broke my collarbone on this side, but like right now, it just, okay, I think it goes back to feeling numb when I'm not moving it much, but if I'm moving it a lot, like, because this morning I was really hacking around the reeds with the hand tool and then the hoe, and I was moving rocks and I was using the rake, and it actually was a good workout for about a good hour, just working on the sweat lodge out here. This is the sweat lodge area. So I'm just sitting at the picnic table, but here's the sweat lodge. See, I can't see because that's it right here. Those are the rocks that probably sits on the blankets all the way around the sweat lodge. And I was working on the reeds on the inside because I want to get all of that out and make it flat. So when we actually use the sweat lodge, that's the rock pit. That's where we put the rocks in. And when we're ready to sweat, I don't want any of that right there where it's all like this, like a lumpy bed. I want it to be smooth and flat. So when you crawl in, it's going to be like a flat surface, all one level. I don't want it to be all bumpy and uneven, and because it messes with your body when you're in your sweat and you're trying to straighten up. And if you're not healthy and you're in the sweat lodge and you start cramping up and you're trying to get comfortable and there's all these little things like that on the ground and it's not even, then I end up cramping up more. And I raked this up right here, took out all the rocks out of there and put them over there because most of them are broken. And I called this one the Bigfoot head, and I called this one the alien head. And so that's the trailer. It's more like storage now because it was only used once since I've gotten it. And I didn't use it. Michael used it because he was down there at the river working for CritFit. And that's when I was working through temp services because I was trying to save some money so I can go meet my granddaughter who was just born 2 years ago. And I was going to fly to where she was at. And it was during the pandemic, so I didn't know if it was mandatory for you to have a COVID shot just to travel through the United States. And I believe that's what prevented me from meeting my daughter, because I'm one of those rebellious people that says if it's mandated, I'm calling bullshit, because I'm tired of the government saying, you need to do this because it's the law. Because I seen too many videos of nurses and doctors from all over the world when COVID happened who were whistleblowers that said that these hospitals were getting paid for every COVID patient that died. So if they were old, crippled, they would go in there, and give them that COVID, so they would die and say that they had died from COVID, and they would get money. That's what the nurses and doctors were saying, that COVID, it's a scam. And that's why they quit, because they didn't want to be a part of that. They didn't want to just like, do as I say, you're getting paid for it. They're just like me. They're, why? I'm not a killer. I'm not gonna do this because it's gonna kill them and it's unnecessary. Because a nurse would say this person was, and he was healthy, and this other nurse would come in and say, get out. And she'd be in there with other doctors. And then when the other nurse that was told to get out, and she would come back, that person would be dead within less than 24 hours because of COVID. But it was mainly elders and people that were crippled and that were being taken out. And so, in like nursing homes and people in jail, it seems like people that are in prison and jail are still being experimented on when it comes to your health, what could happen to you when your freedom's taken away. Because nobody likes to be in a cage. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Because it's not because it's just like false allegations. If you get accused of something, before I used to always say, hey, wait a minute, that's not true. And then I try to tell my story. But I got to the point where, why should I prove my point when it's a lie? I'm going to let all those people continue believing in all those things that they're hearing about me. Because they're not coming to me and say, hey, what's up? This is what I'm hearing about you. The only one who does that is my mom. And she tells me, this is what they're saying about you. And grandma used to tell me too, every time I came home from college, what's going on. She doesn't lie. Why does grandma need to lie? So, like I said, if you're going to accuse somebody about something that's very serious, I mean, if my child came up to me and told me that, there's no hesitation. I will do time in prison. I would take my child to the hospital and make sure this is what happened, because there's evidence when you take a child to the hospital to see if anything's happened. And then if there's evidence, then yeah, I'm going to go after that person that went after my child. And I'm going to do some serious damage to that person. More than likely just take them out. More than likely will take them out. If I ever found out that this person had did this to my child, sexually abused them, raping them, sodomizing them, making them suck their dick, putting their dick up their butt, or penetrating them in the vagina with their fingers or their dick. And because I've been told these stories, and it pisses me off that they let this person go that raped my other niece, got her pregnant, and it's one of my cousin's cousins that did that to my niece. And he's still out and about walking around in Orange Springs. No consequences to him, because they just took her to get an abortion. Wherever they had the money, they went got it taken care of. And she was only 15. Maybe she was 14 at the time that it happened. I don't know. Everybody was always drunk, under the influence, every time I went to that house. And the kids are like, they're always hiding as soon as I get there. And then once they find out who it is, then they're like this, all over the place, just sitting around me. Just right by me, but they're always constantly moving. Just hanging out with me in the living room, because I hardly ever go into all the other rooms, because, I just always went there, say, hey, what's up, then leave, because I just can't do it no more when it comes to drama. I can't be a part of it no more. I seriously want to help and everything, but I have my own shit to deal with, and it's nothing major or anything like that, but I can't. There's things that I just have to say, you know what? I'm not taking sides, because when it comes to family, I don't take sides. If I see you at the medicine dance, if I see you at the Longhouse for Russia, if I see you at the Shaker Church, or if I see you at the powwow, maybe we'll talk. I don't know. I didn't talk to any of my family at the last funeral. My auntie was acting weird to me. Like, she didn't want me doing anything with my cousin. And she was watching me like, right over me. And I'm like, and so when I was putting the buckskin on her hair after we braided it, she's all like, make sure it looks nice and even. I do this all the time at the medicine dance, at the Longhouse when I go dance Russia, and when I powwow. So I'm always braiding my hair, and I'm always doing this with my ribbons and my nookshis. So that's why I do it fast. I know how to put things on really fast and make it look nice and even, because I've done this so many times for so many years, year after year after year. It's almost medicine dance season. We had the first frost. It's rose hip season. if you're one of those people who have allergies and you're constantly and you're achoo achoo and you're constantly getting sick, those rose hips, you boil it and drink it like tea. High level of vitamin C. And if you can get red willow, boil that too. That'll keep you from getting sick with the influenza and anything else, because that's what the Indians were drinking back in the day when the influenza happened and everybody was saying, you need to get the flu shot, you need to get the flu shot. They weren't getting the flu shot. We already have natural ways, natural medicine that can take care of us without having to get that shot. I had a doctor tell me before I went to Northwest Nazarene University in 2005. So it must have been 2004. When the doctor told me, over there on the Navajo Nation Reservation in St. Michael's, Arizona, because he asked me, according to your files from Warren Springs, Oregon, and everywhere you went, because my records follow me everywhere I go, you need a booster shot. Are you interested in a flu shot? And the last time I got a flu shot was in 2000, around there sometimes before I graduated in 2001. Because everybody says, you need to get a flu shot. You need to get a flu shot if you don't want to get sick. You need to get a flu shot. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take a flu shot. That gave me walking pneumonia. I ended up on bed rest and missing like a whole month of school. And when I seen that doctor and I told him that story, and I told him I was scared to take the influenza shot, or the flu shot, or whatever they call it, he goes, well, to be honest with you, all these shots are unnecessary. Because I told him I never had the chicken pox. I never had all these things that other kids would have when they're growing up. All I heard of is kids having chicken pox. I don't see any scars on me that says I've had chicken pox. I asked my mom, did I have chicken pox? And she says, no, you haven't. None of my kids had chicken pox. Probably because she kept us updated on our shots all the time. But I'm not sure what the regulation is today, because all my kids are 18 and older. When it comes to shots, how many do they need just to walk through those doors to go to school? Because the doctor said that these shots are unnecessary. What they do is he told me they put a virus in it, and each time they do it, it's different. It's a different virus. It's never the same. And it's meant to get you sick, because your body builds this natural defense mechanism to make you feel better, like get well. And he said that they were unnecessary. Even the booster shots were unnecessary. He said that once you get them in your life, that's it. You don't need to keep getting them constantly. Booster shot. It's time for your booster shot. After so many years has gone by, it's time for a booster shot or a flu shot. Any kind of shots. Once you get them, that's it. That's it. You don't need to keep getting them year after year after year after year, or like however they do it. Like they have this timetable, right, for your whole lifetime, and they look at your medical chart and they tell you, okay, according to your medical chart, you haven't had your booster shot since blah blah blah. You're gonna have to do that, and they just do it. They don't even ask you. They just say, you need your booster shot, and then they come in and give you a booster shot. But I haven't had one since, I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't even like going into the clinic or to the hospital. I mean, I went when I was in a car accident May 12th. Like, I didn't even finish my story. I was on my way to go up there to help them, go up to Denny Creek to help them gather cedar bark basket, or cedar bark, so we can teach the children how to make cedar bark baskets. Everybody does it differently, so I was on my way. I say there's no drugs and alcohol involved because I don't drink. I haven't drank since October 4th, 2016. And I tried giving up weed, and I lasted long enough to get my UA clean so I can get a job. And I lasted 2 years in Warren Springs with that job. They said I was incompetent, but if you watch my other videos, I don't need to go through the whole thing again. But it's funny though, because I hear the other tribes are doing the same thing, and they're wondering how come our youth how come our tribal members that are educated are not coming back to the reservation, or up there in Canada they call it the reserve. How come they're not coming home to help our people with their education? Well, it's because you keep burning bridges with your own tribal members with their nepotism. And it's really deep. Like that. I mean, I'm talking deep. I mean, they'll how do they say it? Blacklist you, blackmold you to make sure 100% guaranteed you will not get a job back there on the reservation again with false allegations signed off on a restraining order by a judge based on hearsay. So that's a tort claim right there against the Confederate Tribes of Warren Springs, Oregon. And that person who put the tort claim on me, she drank herself to death. So I can still file a tort claim because there's no statute of limitation. And plus, when they closed my case, they said I was special and that I'll forever need somebody to take care of every single need every single need. Because I don't know how to cook, I don't know how to take a shower, I don't know how to, like, what a person does that is special, that needs somebody by their side 24/7. Because I worked with clients at St. Michael's Associations for Special Educations on the Navajo Reservation in between Window Rock and St. Michael's, Arizona. So here's St. Michael's, here's Window Rock, Arizona. And if you still look at my nose, that's where SMACE, the acronym. If you look at my nose, that's where SMACE was. Window Rock, St. Michael's, and my nose was where I worked at, SMACE. So I don't know what that text message is, but I'm going to look at it and see what it says.